All right. Just checking a couple things here just to make sure everything is good. Be getting started here in a moment. So we are going to unbox some cases, and so I'm going to give a few moments here just to let the chat or let the live stream get going, see if anybody jumps in. Good evening, Truckin' Reviews. We are going to open a bunch of S24 Ultra cases today. And there's a reason that I am doing this live, because there are so many. We got Black Diamond Cleaning Services in the house. What's up? I'm just trying to make sure I can get my preview here and see the chat, because I want to be able to reply and see what everybody is saying. So give me a second. It has been a minute since I've done a live stream, and so I'm trying to manage that from a screen in front of me while another screen is handling the streaming. And so if you bear with me just for a second, just to make sure that I have everything going here and that I can view all of the details in the chat, which I am failing to do on the second computer, so I may just have to have the same view that all of you see, which is okay. So I have done many, I'll just intro things while I'm getting things dialed in here. I have done many case videos in the past, and I tend to just go with a few cases from brands that I'm familiar with, and that's about it. But I just ended up with so many stinking cases that it's ridiculous. And so I thought, why not just do a live stream? And then I'm going to film this. I'm actually going to hit record here in a second on my cameras so that I capture all of this. And then I'll edit it together into a more concise video. So now that we're going, give me 1 second here just to hit record on the cameras, and we'll be ready to rock and roll. All right. We have hit record on the cameras. Now, the Galaxy S24 Ultra, fantastic phone. I've loved carrying this phone, using its cameras, its extremely snappy UI. It's just overall a fantastic phone. And the first case that I put on it was this case from Pitaka. And so that's the first case that we're going to look at, because that's the first case that came in. And I really like the ultra thin case. The new S24 Ultra has a very nice shape to it. I think this is the best designed S24 Ultra that they've ever done. I love the fact that the screen is completely flat and they've done away with the rolled over edges. I wanted that to go away so long ago, and they held on for so long. But they finally got rid of them, and its flat edges, just a bit of a rounded edge on the device itself. And you don't want to put too much of a case on this phone, really. I mean, unless you really need to protect it, which, yeah, that's why we're talking about cases. But in the grand scheme of it all, like, if I could go caseless on this phone, which really just is hard for me to go caseless because I want to keep the phone from getting scratched up and dinged up. I just have to have something on it. And this Pitaka case is great. Very thin case. The MagEasy case, which basically means that it is MagSafe compatible. And I've got my trusty little magnet here just to show you that it is MagSafe compatible, which means you can wirelessly charge using MagSafe type devices, which, if you have not done that yet, if you've not jumped on the MagSafe bandwagon, which I know means like saying that you like something about Apple, which might be tough, but MagSafe is just great. Being able to snap a charger right onto the back, use some sort of a device, you can just boom, snap it. Yeah, MagSafe in the case is a must. And so the Pitaka case is great. It has that kind of carbon fiber, but it's that aramid fiber is what they call it. Very thin case. Here's the magnet here. You can see just very minimal case design, and I like that. So this is definitely going to go in the pile of cases that are going to make it into the main video that I edited together. But my goodness, I'm going to have to bang through these, you guys. Usually I edit all this stuff out. You know, I'm not opening the boxes here and all that stuff on camera. We edit all of this stuff out in post. But I'm hoping that you guys will be here chatting with me and we can just have a good conversation while I look at these cases. All right, so a tried and true case, the Spec Presidio Grip 2, or the Presidio 2 Grip, a tried and true case that I love on almost every single device. I end up buying this case because it's just a great case. The grippiness on the case makes it great to hold on to. If you ever have issues, especially with a bigger phone, slipping out of your hand or losing grip on it, the grip on this case is really great. The buttons are really nice and responsive. It's got protection around the camera module, so you don't have to worry about your cameras coming in contact with a surface when you set your phone down. The edges have this kind of plastic in here, and what's nice about that is that it gives extra protection around the edges, whereas the silicone nice feel on the case is nice and soft and smooth. You've got the harder edge corners, and what I love is that they split open a little bit. So when you go to take this case off, they split open and the case just slides off so elegantly. I wanted to say nicely, but elegantly is the word that came out of my mouth. I just have to say, like, the Spec case has always been great. And on the bottom of the case, we've got plenty of room for our S Pen to come out. We've got a big open area for charge port in case you've got a bigger cable that takes up a little bit of extra space. Overall, a great case. Doesn't encroach on the screen at all, comes right to the edges, and also provides screen down protection as well. So when you set your phone face down, it's not going to come in contact. And I realize I have not been switching back and forth between cameras, which is why I don't do live streams that often. So I apologize that you have been looking at nothing when you should have been looking at the case. And so now you're looking at the case and everything should still be working just fine. So yes, let's take a look at this again just so you can see the buttons. The buttons look great. We've got lots of space for our S Pen, our charging port, plenty of protection for the camera module. We definitely don't want the camera module coming in contact with surfaces and slowly shaving away at the beautiful lenses that are on the back of this phone. And then, of course, very easy to get this case off because of the way that the corners split out on this case. I absolutely love how easy it is to remove this case from your phone, as opposed to some other cases of this size. You really have to pry on to get it off of your phone. So Spec Presidio Grip definitely going in the pile of cases that we're going to hang on to. And we'll come back to the Pitaka case. I know that I didn't give the camera view, didn't give the appropriate camera view for that, and so we'll come back to that view. Now we're looking at the Torres case. This is the shockproof case. Another favorite of mine. Torres makes great cases. And one of the things that I love is that you get, here, let's switch to the other camera. You get different color buttons to match maybe your personality or your clothes or whatever you want to match. It comes with black buttons. So you know me, I rock with just all black all the time. But if you want to replace the buttons, they really easily pop out. And so you just snap the buttons out, push them out of the case, and then pop the new buttons in, and you've got a different set of colors for your case. Now, this particular case has kind of a smoked back to it. So because I left the little sticker on the back of the phone, you could see the little sticker. I'd probably want to remove that, especially on a case like this where you could see through the back of the phone. I do like the fact that you can kind of see through the back of the phone. If you had a phone that had a different color to it, then some of that color might shine through. Because I've got the darker phone, the darker case, you don't really see much of that. If you added in these colored buttons, it would definitely add a little bit of flair to your case and a little bit of personality as well. I'd have to say on the sides of the case, a little bit less side protection, but there's actual protection on the top and the bottom of the phone here. So what's great about this is that there's less case to reach around to get to your screen. So I like that because, it just never fails. Bigger phone, you're always reaching for something. More case means it's going to just be harder to reach across that phone. And so I love the screen down protection on the top and the bottom while minimizing that on the sides of the case. We've got very responsive buttons here, easy to push, and they're very slim as well. I definitely like how slim the buttons are. They don't stick out, they don't protrude much. And we've got basically what we could expect, what we've seen on the other cases as far as ports, the opening on the ports, and the S Pen as well. Plenty of room to get that out of there. So the Taurus case, a great option, especially if you want something with kind of a smoked back cover so that you could see through it just a little bit and see some of that beautiful phone through the back of the case. Definitely really cool with the changeable buttons. Different color options definitely are fun and make it more personalizable, if that's a word. More easy to personalize. I am not working well with my words today, but we're going to move on to the Pelican case. The Pelican case is a old-timey favorite of mine. I feel like Pelican might have went away for a little while or stopped doing cases for a little while, or they fell off my radar, but then they came back, and their cases are pretty decent. They almost look like the case almost looks like it's the same case as spec that it comes in. And so, I don't know. Let me switch and show you here. I don't know who makes the Pelican cases for them. I'm certain that they probably outsource that to a company that makes cases. Oh, it's Casemate. It says casemate.com there. So I'm assuming Casemate is who makes their cases. But if you use Pelican cases, you're familiar with the brand. This case definitely has some strength to it. As I kind of twist and pull on this case, like this is a dense case. This is going to add a bit to your phone, but it's going to add a ton of protection as well. Let's go ahead and get the phone in there and see. Ooh, it actually slips in there relatively nice. I was expecting it to be a tighter fit. This case also has the raised on the top and the bottom with less on the sides, which is great because, look at how thick the phone is now. That's a lot more to hold on to. And if you don't want any more than you have to, I love the fact that they did not raise the edges up and over the phone on the sides. We've got that kind of aramid fiber look on the back, or carbon fiber, some sort of fiber design, and it's an obvious kind of inlay here. And kind of has a plasticky feel to it, but a nice look. And then the Pelican branding down there as well. Plenty of protection around the camera module, plenty of protection around the outer corners of the phone. My goodness, I feel like I could take a hammer to the side of this and wouldn't have any problems just because there's so much case and protection there. My only concern was just how easy the phone slipped in and out. That's not going to be a problem. I guess I was just thinking man, maybe you pull the phone out of your pocket and the case gets caught or something like that and it pops out. That's not going to happen. That actually snaps in pretty securely. But it is nice that it's not a chore to get the case out of off of your phone, because some cases are just, they're so hard to get off of the phone. And so the Pelican case, I like it. It's definitely not my favorite. I love the Pelican cases of the older days, how Pelican cases were maybe, 5 or 6 years ago. I feel like they've changed probably since outsourcing to Casemate. And so while it's a great case, providing a lot of protection, I can't say it's my favorite. So now we're going to move on to a case from Mouse. This is the Limitless Aramid Fiber. Every case is an aramid fiber. Let's take a look at what we have inside here. And typically I do buy darker color cases. If you've been around for any length of time on my channel, you know that most of the cases that I end up with are going to be a darker color. Now, I love the minimalness of this, if that's a word. I like the fiber inlay here. I like how simple this case is. Let's see how it fits on the phone. You're saying you can't hear me, Truckin' Reviews. You should be able to hear me. Maybe the camera feed turns off and the camera feed shuts off when I switch to the other camera. Maybe that is what happened. Hopefully it wasn't what happened. Let me know if you guys can hear me now that I switched to the other camera, because that may have been what happened, is that it switched between different camera feeds. So I'll wait for a second just to see if I can get an update from Truckin' Reviews. Definitely helping me out, and I apologize for the audio going out there. Still saying you can't hear me. I am hoping that the audio is catching up here, but still say you can't hear me. Let me switch to the other camera. Can you hear me now? I definitely see audio levels going in, and audio levels should be there. I'm just going to check with my own speaker here just to see if I can hear it on my end. Still say you can't hear me. So it must just be you. It must just be you, Truckin' Reviews, because everyone else can hear me and I can hear myself. So I apologize for that. Whatever is happening there, definitely frustrating, but I'm hearing things on this end. All right, so let's jump back in. We are looking at the mouse case, so let's switch back over so you can see that. The mouse aramid fiber case. What I love about this one is just the minimal grippiness on the side. Feels really good, but there's not any more grip than you really need based on how you're going to be holding your phone. Good grip. It's going to hit you right in the palm and right in the fingertips here, which is great. And overall, a great case. It also has a hole for a little lanyard here. If that's something that you wanted to do, attach a little lanyard, put it around your wrist so that way you wouldn't drop your phone. Definitely a good option, and they have that on both sides of the case. Lots of protection around the corners, as you can see, and definitely plenty of room, but tighter, I'd say, on the ports than on some of the other cases that we've looked at. Overall, though, a great case. Mouse produces some good cases. They're definitely higher end, higher priced as well, but you're going to get quality, and you could tell that nothing is really going to come apart on this case. It's just overall well built and nice and smooth. A little bit of texture here on the outer portion, nice and smooth on the aramid fiber portion of the case as well, with that top and bottom protection. Not really any extra on the sides, which is going to minimize the challenge of reaching things when you are holding this phone one-handed. So overall, great case. Mouse produces great cases. They have a lot of different options when it comes to cases, especially color options as well. So when I produce the final video, when the final video comes out, there will be links in the description. You'll definitely want to check those out when I get the final edit out. Now we're going to look at a Spigen case. This is the Ultra Hybrid, and I chose this case because it has that interior look into the phone and makes it look like the back of your phone is transparent. And I absolutely wanted to try that out. And I know that there are others who produce a case like this. I probably could have supported them, but at the same time, like, Spigen has always been good to me, and so I just decided to purchase their version of this case. And so let's go ahead and peel that back plastic off, and this is kind of cool. What we get is a look at the inside of the phone. We've got some very simple 01 edition Spigen branding. We've got maybe an outline of where the battery was, but not blocking anything, which is very smart of them. We can see the wireless charging module, some of the cables, the chipsets, and all that good stuff. So it's just kind of cool. And it has a little bit of a 3-dimension to it as well. Like, some of that stuff's printed on the top layer, some of that's printed on the bottom layer. And so that makes it look like there's a little bit of depth to this. That might be kind of hard to see in the video, but it definitely looks really cool. So I have to say, this is a neat case. Now, it provides just enough protection for the camera module. So just a little bit of a raised protection there, but it's not going to protect if there's a little bit of debris or something on your table and you go and set your phone down. It's not going to protect against that because there's just such a minimal amount of raised area back there. We have the same On the front, we've got a little bit more of a raised area on the top and the bottom than we do the sides, but this is more of a minimal case as far as it's protecting the front of your phone and the back of your phone. The corners are good. Feel like the corners would be well protected. We've got good port openings there, so overall decent. This is definitely a case that you would get if that's the style that you're going for. I like it because I'm, kind of nerdy like that, and I like to see the working innards of the device. And with the way these devices are made now, there's no way to take it apart and really make that happen yourself. I know people used to do that in the past, which was definitely fun to watch, but yeah, a cool case nonetheless. Now we've got the Liquid Air also from Spigen. This is a more minimal case, very minimal case, hence the name Liquid Air. Perhaps about the same as the Zero Edition or whatever this case was called. Probably the same, I'd say. Really, now that I look at it, these cases look about the same as far as their size and specs. Obviously, one you're getting the cool back, the other one you're getting just a very simple minimal case. And so both of them feel really much the same, although this Liquid Air feels a little bit softer and smoother, probably because they don't have multiple layers of print and stuff going on through the transparencies of the case. But I like the grip on the back of it. If you ever set your phone on your pant leg or whatever and it just slides right off, having a phone with a little bit of having a case with a little bit of grip is always kind of nice. And this has, as you can hear, a little bit of grippiness there. And overall, a great case. Minimal buttons. I don't know. The Liquid Air has always been a good one. Definitely not my case of choice, but it's always been a great slim fit case. And Spigen produces lots of case options, so you'll definitely have to check that out. Let's jump over to a different pile. We've got the 2D Emerge. This is a case that I've been sent often for different phones, and it's always been a good one. They always have their cases out quickly, and they're always available very fast. And their cases are good quality, and so just because they release them really quickly and get them shipped and put out there to the world really fast is not a knock on their quality. These cases are durable, and they're kind of rubbery, or they're silicone, but they're a little rubbery. And I'd have to say, this case overall provides good protection. It is a little dull in the styling for me. I have to say, it's not a super exciting case to look at. For brands that, I don't know, most brands, I'm not super thrilled on the brand's name being on the case. I'd rather it just not be. But it is very minimal down there. It's not very noticeable. I just prefer it not to be on the case at all. A little bit of grip on the side, but not a whole lot of grip. I don't know. Overall, a decent case. I know that these cases, some of these cases are very budget friendly. Some of them are more expensive. And this case is definitely one of those that is more budget friendly. But overall, pretty cool. So this particular case is from a newer creator, a newer person putting out content. They sent me this case. I'm putting out content. This is from... This is actually a Kickstarter project that was sent to me, and I was excited to look at it because it's something new. Often I get sent cases from the same companies over and over again, those are great cases. We've already looked at some great cases, but sometimes it's cool to see something new from someone doing something new or doing something different and on their own. Now, there are a little bit of instructions here, and I just want to make sure, it's a MagSafe compatible. They call it the open case, which solves the issue by creating a pocket in the case that they call the accessory hold area. Now, let's see if we could figure this out together, because this is something, I should have paid attention, and this is why I don't do lives. You know what case this is for? You know what that is? That's an iPhone case, and I should have paid more attention to what pile I put it in, because I put it in the pile with the S24 Ultra cases. And you know why I did that? Because I was leaving on vacation, and I set it in a pile of cases, and I didn't bother to look. So that's why we don't do live cases reviews, everybody, because we make mistakes. And if I wasn't doing it live, I could edit it out later. All right, so enough with that. Let's pretend that didn't happen. Hopefully you're enjoying the follies of me trying to do things in a live situation. But now we have a thin-borne case. This case is in a very cool box. I mean, this box is really nice. It's a very nice packaging experience. And this case is insanely thin. I've had a thin-borne case before. It comes with screen protectors as well, which is a nice touch. And then I think they also produced a nice little note that they hand wrote and sent to me. What's cool about them is that they are a U.S. brand. And so if you're from the U.S. and you like to buy stuff that is by a U.S. company, then Thin-Borne is that company. Now, when I first opened this case, and I have used this case before, I just put it back in the box, I was blown away at just how rigid everything is with this case. Like, this case is really rigid, and it's a nice, strong case, and it snaps on the phone really nice, and it is as thin as you can get. It's actually thinner than the Pitaka case that I had on earlier. It has Thin-Borne on it, which I, do kind of wish that it didn't have branding on it, but nonetheless, it's a nice, sleek-looking case that adds almost nothing to your phone. And that's what I love about it. It has a little bit of a raised edge here on the top and the bottom to provide some screen down protection. It has just a little bit of raised edge around the bevels of your cameras here so that it provides a little bit of protection there as well. If you could see in the camera just how thin the edges are on this case as it wraps around the phone, that is why I really like this case. It adds almost nothing. And of course, there's these little areas here to help you kind of get the phone off of the case or get the case off of the phone. You definitely need to have these split areas a little bit to get something so thin and so small off of your phone. And it is MagSafe compatible, of course. Attach the magnet right to the back of it. I know I've been lagging a little bit, but most of the cases that we have looked at so far, besides the very first one, are not MagSafe compatible. Even the Spec case, my lovely Spec case that I absolutely love, not MagSafe compatible. Definitely a bummer. And most of these other cases, not MagSafe compatible. So I don't think we really missed out on anything. The Thin-Borne case, though, one of my favorites, simply because how sleek it is, how thin it is, and it also comes with screen protectors, which if you're going with a super thin case like that, if you're going with a thin case that's not going to provide a ton of screen down protection, put a screen protector on there. The glass is great on your S24 Ultra, but it is not immune to scratches. If you've watched any of the videos by Jerry Rig anything, he could tell you, simple things can scratch your cases. Simple things can scratch your phone. And with that, you want to protect it and keep it safe. So now we are looking at, this is the, gosh, I hate it when these case companies don't have brand names on their stuff, even if it is an off-brand. But I know that this is the waterproof case. Of course, your S24 Ultra is relatively waterproof, but it's not waterproof forever. And a case like this adds a ton of additional waterproofing protection to your phone. I've looked at these cases before. I have tested these cases before, and they are watertight. And so while a phone can be very protectant against the elements and water, it's not perfect. It's not going to protect for long periods of time. It's not going to protect at deeper depths in the water where you may submerge this thing to a deeper depth for a longer period of time, whether on purpose or inadvertently. And a case like this is going to help. Now, it's also a trick to get all of the little protective pieces off here. And with this case, a caveat, when you're installing one of these cases, fingerprints on the inside are going to be the epitome of everything. Like, you definitely want to avoid touching the inside of this case, because once you get a fingerprint on there, they are very hard to remove. And so you want to be careful. You also want to clean your phone on something else other than your pant leg, you guys. You want to clean your phone really well before putting it into this case. And so we are going to slide the phone into this case, like so, and snap it in. It fits in nice and tight, and then we take the case and put the backing on it. And the backing also has a film, looks like just on the outer side, and so we will snap this all together. What I love about this case is that you're going to worry less when submerging your phone in water. You're going to a water park, you're going to the ocean, you're going to the community pool, whatever, water slides. Putting your phone in this case, you're going to have to worry a lot less. And I've seen those phones that you just slide into like a fancy, expensive Ziploc bag. Those cases are a bummer, and they're going to affect the overall photo quality that you can capture. They're going to affect the usability of your phone. And a case like this simply just does not do that. So after peeling off everything, we've got a fingerprint reader kind of hole right here that has to be there just so that you can still read the fingerprint. But what's great is that you have accessibility to all of your ports. You could pop this and get access to your S Pen. We've got S Pen right there, so you're not losing that ability while still getting the additional seal. We've got a little flip-top seal here for the speaker. So obviously, if you completely seal everything off here, you're not going to be able to hear anything. But if you want to go in the water, you're not going to be listening to music or anything like that. So pop the seal in place and then open it up when you're ready and you don't need the complete seal. We also have a door for our USB-C here as well, which gives us access. And so a case like this is cool just simply because you have the ability to access all the ports on your phone. You have a lanyard attachment here, and it also comes with a lanyard as well. So you can attach a lanyard to it and then put the lanyard around your wrist. So if you are in the water or something like that, chances of you dropping your phone are going to be significantly less. Look at how the camera module is on this. The camera module is pressed up against the back of this, which means it's going to limit the glare and the other just things that are going to take place if you use one of those cheap inserts that you just put your phone in. You're going to minimize all the issues with a case like this. And with past versions of I think the S22 was the last time I actually tested this case and took it in water. And man, it's a great experience. And the peace of mind that you get from having a case like this on your phone, even though the S-Series phones are so good in the water and do such a good job at protecting from, dying in the water. Unlike other phones, I've had an iPhone die in the water. I have not had an S-Series phone or even an older Note phone die in the water. And yeah, so this is a case that you might not necessarily want to have on your phone all the time, but it's a great case to have in your arsenal of cases for those situations where you want the best usability of your phone, but you also want to make sure that it's protected and kept safe. Now we're going to move on to an OtterBox case. Hey, if you guys have any questions, those of you that are watching, definitely ask down in the comments, and I will do my best to respond because I can see your comments. So OtterBox, this is the, which series is this? This is the, gosh, so many words. The Commuter series. Big words. Actually, big words right in front of my face. Commuter series. It's there. And that's the word that was on the top of my tip of my tongue anyways, was Commuter series. Obviously, the edited versions of these videos are better, you guys. That's just the way that it is. And we are making a dent in these cases, but we still have so many left to do. This is a two-piece case. And what's great about that is if it gets dirty, take it apart, clean it. This OtterBox Commuter Series case has always been known for how well it holds up, how well it protects your phone, and it just being a easy to maintain case, where a lot of other cases have little nooks and crannies where things can get gross, maybe between where two different types of materials merge. but this case, those two pieces of material come apart. You could take this portion of the case, actually you could take both portions of the case, and you can wash it in the sink with some gentle soap and water and clean that up and have a nice clean case. We've got port protection down on the bottom, so this snaps into place here and protects your USB-C port from dirt and debris and all that good stuff. I love that because after a while, the USB-C port, it's like a mouth. It's just swallowing all the debris, especially all the lint and everything it can consume from your pocket. We've got good access for the S-Pen. We've got good gripability with some of that rubberized backing here. Just sits in the pad of your hand and gives you a lot of grip. The plastic of the phone's a little bit slippery, not a whole lot of grip to it, but you've got gripability all the way down the side of the phone. Kind of interesting how there isn't that here, but it is in the pad of your hand. So as you're holding this phone, this is right in the pad of the palm of your hand. And so it does feel safe and solid in the hand, and it should because it is a bit bulkier of a case. But sometimes with that, that slippery plastic, I just wonder if you're not holding it just right, if maybe you're not getting as much grip as you would need for a case of this size. But this particular case, it's designed for impact. Definitely a lot of case here, but still about as minimal as you can get while providing maximum protection. We've got a ton of protection on the camera module there. Ton of protection all the way around with more on the top and the bottom than the sides, but still a lot on the sides. And so screen down protection, tons. I don't know how much room that is, but I mean, it would have to be a pretty good chunk of something on your table. You set the phone down to get a scratch on your screen out of that. The OtterBox Commuter Series providing tons of protection for your S24 Ultra. So for those of you that are OtterBox fans, it continues being a fantastic case like it always has been. Caseology with the Nano Pop, another favorite of mine simply because the style of the case is just nice. It's a nice case. It looks good. It feels good. And I've had it on multiple phones, and it continues to just be an overall good case. I think they do a great job over there at Caseology. With the different cases that they have. I really like the Nano Pop because it's just very slim. Let's test it. Nope, no MagSafe. And I know that the OtterBox didn't have any MagSafe in it either. We'll just double check, but I know that it doesn't because of just how large it is. Large case, no magnet that I could see through the back, no MagSafe. No MagSafe on this, which is definitely a bummer, but it's just a good-looking, simple case. Now, it has grip on the side, and it is really hard to tell that there is grip here, but it's substantial. I mean, it's almost abrasive, the grip. Like, if I was to rub my winter dry skin on this case, it would look kind of gross, I think, because this is just a little more abrasive than I remember the Nano Pop cases being in the past. Yeah, I don't know if I like that. I mean, yeah, it grips well. It grips really well. And it's so minimal you could barely see it. But it's winter in Montana and my skin is really dry and it just kind of rubs me the wrong way. So I'm kind of bummed about that. But overall, everything else I really like about the case. It's very slim, very sleek. It doesn't add a lot, but it adds a lot of protection around the corners. Good port protection and availability down on the bottom of the case. Overall, a great case, but I don't know, that abrasiveness on the sides, that's the first time that I felt that much abrasiveness on this model of the case, and I feel like for several years I've had the Caseology Nano Pop, and I'm not digging that. Let's move on to ESR. ESR produces some favorites on this channel, and their cases have always been pretty good. Definitely a case that I've utilized of theirs often is on an iPad mini. Always a good product, ESR, and I believe the case that I have on my AirPods Pro and a handful of other things are ESR cases. So this is a kickstand case, which is one of the first ones that we've looked at so far. Kickstand cases. Let's go ahead and pop the phone in. and let's just see how good that kickstand is, because if it's going to have a kickstand in it, it better be durable. And this is looking pretty good so far. That kickstand comes out. It's nice and it's kind of tight, not too much, but you could definitely set this at multiple angles and you're going to be fine. I mean, you can see it takes a little bit to push on it and really change the angle. You have a maximum angle here. So our maximum angle, I'd say, is probably about 45 degrees, I'd have to say, without getting out a protractor and checking. About 45 degrees. But what's nice is you can adjust this at a few different angles before it snaps into place. There's too much angle. The phone's going to tip over. But we can go probably between like 40 or maybe 35 and 45 degrees on the angle. And if we look at the durability here, I'm just kind of tugging on this. I feel like this is pretty darn durable. You're not going to run into any issues there. I'm even pushing back on this pretty hard. I may have even added a couple of extra degrees of flexibility here, but really in just durability testing, you want to make sure that this is not going to fail on you, that you're going to have any issues. And then it just snaps right back into place like that. We've got the word camera guard here, the words camera guard, which I don't really like. Kind of, I don't know, a little flap here, which I feel like there's some debris could probably get underneath. I'm not a huge fan of that. And I definitely don't like fun attempts at putting words and stuff around the camera module. Some people might not mind, but to me, not a fan of that. Overall, though, it's a nice looking case. It feels good. The raised area here from the kickstand, it's not annoying, and it actually feels pretty good. It sits right here in the pad of my hand, and I don't know, it feels like it's designed to sit there and just be right in that place in my hand, which normally there wouldn't be. There'd just be a gap there. But that sits right in there, and it feels like an additional point of contact on my hand, and I'm not hating that at all. We've got some raised edges here on the corners of the case, which definitely adds some protection a little bit more before pressing through, and maybe, there's enough case here. Even without those, you wouldn't have to worry about it. But I do love the fact that there's a little bit extra there on all four corners just to protect. MagSafe. No MagSafe, and with a case like this, your phone's going to sit kind of tilted forward just a little bit because of this raised area back here. The camera module isn't raised so much that it would level out the phone, and it does rock a little bit just because you've got so much going on the back of the phone here, which some people might not like. I don't think it's that big of a problem, but I don't know. Might be to you. If it is, definitely don't go with it. But I'd say the kickstand case from ESR is pretty good. As you can see, it definitely comes in a clear option, and it comes in a variety of other colors as well. What do we got now? We've got from FTN case. Let's make sure we grab the S24 Ultra case from FTN case. I've had some cases of theirs in the past, and they're decent cases. They're budget cases, and they're pretty nice for budget cases. They come with a installation cleaning kit. This particular case comes with a camera module protector as well as a screen protector, which is nice. And so the full setup here with FTN case. This case is kind of giving me, Torres vibes from the beginning of the video. You can see these cases look really close to the same. We've got the Torres over here. We've got the FTN over here. The FTN has a little bit bigger of a camera module raised protection, and it's like a hard plastic here. I'm not sure if I like that. I like the softer plastic or the softer silicone of the Torres case. We've got the shiny buttons to match. I don't know. I kind of like the squared off aspect of this case, though. It's more squared off than the other case, and than some of the other cases as well. And since this phone is more squared off, I'm kind of liking it because it keeps with the squared off design of the S24 Ultra. And so I have to say, I don't mind that at all. I don't like the camera module kind of protection here. I mean, it does do a good job of protecting. There's a lot there, but I don't like the shininess of it. I would be afraid even that it might affect the photo if the sun or something was hitting and reflecting into the camera lens because of the glossiness of this. That might just be me overthinking things as a photographer, but I don't know. Nonetheless, you'd have to definitely go and test that. Now, this case doesn't even come all the way up around the sides of the phone, which definitely makes it easier to get to the face of your phone. It's got protection on the top and the bottom, so we're not worried about that there. Good protection on the top and the bottom, but the sides are more visible than on any other case that I've seen so far, and no MagSafe on this case at all. I don't know. I like the FTN case to an extent, but there are definitely some things that I would change on this case. But I do love the fact that it comes with a screen protector and everything that you would need to keep your phone nice and safe. I'm starting to lose where these boxes are because we've got so many boxes going on here. We have another Spigen case. This is the Tough Armor. This case is a little bit more of a case than the other cases that we looked at from Spigen. This one also has a kickstand in it. A good case nonetheless, definitely a lot more protection. As you can see on the inside of this case, we've got a lot of protection in here, a lot more edge protection than the other Spigen cases, and overall this is going to add a lot more. But one of the things that I really like about this particular case is the buttons on the side. They're not typical style buttons. They're integrated into the case a bit more, and overall just look really cool. And they function well too, at least they have on other phones where I've used this case. But yeah, I mean, they feel really good. They're minimal. You've got the knurled here, kind of the pattern for your on and off button or your home button. It's not a home button, but you've got it. You've got an easy way to identify that button. And then, of course, your volume rocker there. Good protection around the camera module. Hugs those camera lenses, which I love. Protects anything from getting in there and causing any problems. Yeah, we've got a little tiny... let's see if I can get this thing open. Oh, there we go. Little tiny kickstand. Kind of flimsy. Flops around a bit. Definitely not like the other one. But it's really designed just to work like so. You wouldn't be able to use it in portrait mode just because it tips over. It's only going to really work in landscape mode. And it has quite an angle to it. So it props the phone up. No frills there. But I wouldn't... I mean, this is... it bends. I mean, look at that. I'm torquing on that pretty good. You definitely wouldn't want to put any pressure on this because it's good in this direction, which that's really the only way it needs to work, because if I'm pushing down on the phone, not having any problems there. But over months and months of use, I would just worry about this maybe getting bent or the plastic starting to crack or something like that. Seems legit. Seems like there wouldn't be any problems, but being that it slides right into the case, gosh, it would bother me if this broke or if it didn't sit flush anymore. It would just bother me. So I would prefer this case without the kickstand. Everything else I love about this case. They minimize the branding. I don't know. It's there and it's on the side of the case. So we've got 2 hits of branding. But we've got good protection all the way around. Overall, a decent case. But the kickstand is just a little flimsy for me. I definitely wouldn't enjoy that long term because I'd worry about it. All right, let's take a look at a case from Binks. Let's just make sure that I am grabbing, because they sent me cases for the S24 as well, and so I wanted to make sure that we are grabbing the right case, the S24 Ultra. Some of these brands send me cases, many of them don't. Binks is one, FTN case is one that sends me their cases, and the Thin Armor case, they sent me a case. Not all companies send me a case. So this particular case, extremely thin, like the Thin-Born, not Thin Armor, Thin-Born in the Pitaka case. Let's see how this looks. Ooh, that snaps in so nice and is so thin. I will say I can kind of feel the ridges here on the sides a little bit, which at first it just feels sharp. Like right up here, that feels sharp. Like if I mean, with the right pressure and the right direction, I'd be afraid like I cut myself a little bit. I don't know. Maybe I'm overthinking it, but that definitely feels sharp. It doesn't feel super smooth, and maybe it just takes a little bit of time of wearing things down, but I don't know. We've got MagSafe support. Awesome. I think the camera module looks cool here. They've got kind of an outlined raised area around it, and I have to say, like, it looks good around the camera module. This case is just so thin, provides very minimal, actually no protection, really. I mean, I'm taking my fingernail just right off the edge. There's no protection to the face here on this one at all. So you definitely want to add a protector, screen protector, and this does not come with a screen protector, although they do produce screen protectors. And so there's screen protectors and then also camera lens protectors as well that Bink sells. And so you would definitely want to add one of those to your phone because you're not getting any screen down protection at all with this case. But gosh, is it a nice looking case. So minimal all the way around your phone. Does not take away from the amazing design of the S27 Ultra. And I feel like this is kind of classy on the back. This is a classy look on the back of the phone. This case on the phone, I feel like people are going to ask you, like, what phone is that? It just, it just looks good. And, okay, there. I was thinking at first, man, that's going to be hard to get off the phone. Struggling with it a little bit. But, oh, it is a little tough to get off the phone. I'm trying to do it without, like, pulling on the phone or, like, I don't want to cause any damage to the case either, but my goodness, that is a tough one. But you're going to run into that with these slim cases. I mean, oh my gosh, I haven't experienced a challenge getting a phone off of a case yet in this video. Usually we run into at least one. It's actually probably going to be easier to get the phone off the bottom, but the S Pen is in the way. Let's pop the S Pen out and let's see what we can do here if that gets the case off of it now. Boy, this is a struggle, you guys. There we go. All right, got it off. Obviously, you're probably going to put the case on and leave it on. You're not going to be taking cases on and off all day long like I am. But that was a tight fit. Great case, though, I have to say. The Binks case just looks really good. It's built with actual Kevlar, and so not with, I don't know if aramid fiber is a lesser version than Kevlar or something like that. But I have to say, like, the Binks case is pretty darn nice. Next, we're going to be looking at VRS design case. I've had cases of theirs in the past, and typically they've had some pretty unique looking cases, like some interesting styles. So I don't know what to expect with these cases. They sent me these cases, and so I don't know what to expect. And already I'm feeling some shape here that this case is going to have a lot going on. And it certainly does. Let's just get the phone in this thing first, and then we'll talk about it. I'm thinking that is there like two pieces to this? It's kind of hard to tell. No, I think it just slides right in there. It looked like maybe the case came into a couple of pieces, but nope, the phone just snaps right in. Now on the back we have a card slot for card storage, and so we could throw several credit cards in there, and it's closed off on the bottom, and so you slide your cards in, and then you slide the door open, and you can get access to your cards. There's a little fuzzy in there. It's going to fit probably like 3 cards, maybe 4. Opens and closes. Has kind of a nice action to it. I like that. I like the action of opening and closing that. Pretty cool. What we also get is the most intense door on our camera module that I have seen on any case. So we pop that open, and it's open as far as it'll go right now. So this is a lot, you guys. This opens obviously far enough so that you could still use your cameras, but this is for those of you that really have a problem with your cameras being out and open. Maybe you're afraid that somebody's watching you or somebody's hacked your phone or whatever, and you want to be able to cover up the cameras. I have to say, this is a lot though. Like this is too much for me to have this big door that I have to open to get access to my cameras. However, this is going to provide more protection for your camera module than any other case that we've looked at so far, because it flat out covers the entire thing up and protects everything, including the light of day, from getting to your camera module. But every time you want to use your camera, you're going to have to open it up. Now, on the flip side of that, it also acts as a tripod, or a stand, I guess, kickstand. That's the word I was looking for. So we've got a kickstand on the back as well. Not only is it covering your camera, but it's dual purposing as a kickstand. And it's relatively strong. Like, I'm pushing on it pretty good, and I'm not worried about anything breaking. But man, that is a bit intense for me. While this case provides definitely more utility than any other case that we've looked at so far. Yeah, I don't know, man. It's definitely a specific case for a specific person. Let's see, are all of these the Glide Pro? Is that what we have here? The Glide Duo, and we've got the Glide Pro. Let's take a look at the Glide Pro and see what the Pro insignia gets us with the Glide feature. So let's go ahead and pop this one open. These boxes do not come open gracefully, and let's just see what difference we have here. So I guess Pro means you don't have to deal with a big door for your camera, which I like. And so we've got the same slide mechanism here, which is great. Good slide mechanism. We've got our camera module well protected, but no door, no kickstand here. And so one thing that you do have is about 1.5 miles to get to your USB port, which is fine. Like, you can get in there, but you definitely would want a USB cable that had a little bit more, you know, if you had a short USB cable, like, you're going to be pulling on the actual cable to get that out, and you don't want that. So you're going to need a USB cable that has a bit to hold on to there. But overall, I have to say, like, it's kind of fun. It's a different design for sure. It does not sit relatively flat on the table because there's just so much extra going on back here. But as far as a case that gives you access for your cards, carrying your driver's license, credit cards, all that good stuff with you, definitely gets the job done there. VRS Designs, and they have a variety of other case designs as well. They have lots of options, and so you'll definitely want to check out the link in the description when I get the final video up. So, I've got stuff falling off of the desk here. We've got so much stuff on the table. I think one of the last cases that we're going to look at is from Caseborn. I believe Caseborn and Thinborn are the same company. They're both US-based companies, and so you could support a US company by ordering a case from them, and they've got good cases. I've been impressed with the cases that I've received from them over the last several years. This one being a clear case, comes with wipes and cleaning stuff, and just like the other case, comes with screen protectors as well, which is great. I'm not a clear case type of person typically. I don't really like them because I mean, the older days they used to yellow up, but now the better quality materials, they don't yellow up anymore. But little lint and stuff like that gets in the back, and that bothers me. Some people it doesn't bother, but if you want to see the beauty that is your phone, you're gonna need a clear case, and this case looks great. I feel like it's not just some silicone squishy case. This feels like it's like machined. I mean, it's almost like it's Lexan or something like that on the back, or like plexiglass. It's just very, very durable on the back, and it's got to be because it's MagSafe. It's got the MagSafe insignia on the back, so you can use those accessories and charge wirelessly. But my goodness, it's a dense case, but it doesn't add a lot to the phone, and I feel like a ton of protection, which you usually do not get from clear cases. Usually clear cases are just silicone. They're very basic, not super exciting. In this case, I don't know. I have to say, if I was going to be a clear case person, this would be the one that I would choose because it's So much protection, still being a silicone clear see-through case. Good buttons, good cutouts for all of our port and our S Pen. Little bit of top-down protection and not much on the sides, but that's okay because it comes with a screen protector, so I don't have to worry about that much. So I do have a few other versions of some of the cases that we've already looked at. I'm not going to beat a dead horse and open those ones up because we've been here for a while. We've been here about an hour going through cases. Let's recap my favorite cases. I have to say the Thinborn case, very cool, probably one of my favorites as far as thin cases. Of course, I also love the Pitaka. Let's look at those cases side by side here, Thinborn and Pitaka. I'd have to say, I do like the camera module portion here on the Pitaka, but I like the fact that there's more limited branding on the Thinborn. I don't know what these, let's see, right here it says I was a phone case. I don't want that on my case, you guys. It's very minimal and you barely can see it. Pitaka, is being playful, but for me, I'm just no, don't put that on my case. I don't want that there. They almost look like maybe they're made by the same company, to be honest. Everything looks very similar, but I'd have to say, I do like the Thinborn case. You can see it's all one molded piece, the Thinborn is here, where this is a inlay or something that is attached to the case. And so I would worry maybe about durability if you take your case on and off a lot. This, I don't know, this probably isn't a problem, but I don't know. I have to say probably the Thinborn would be my choice there. The Spec case is always going to be a favorite of mine, but on the S24 Ultra, living in the year 2024, I want MagSafe compatibility, and I'm not getting it in the Spec case, and because of that, this is the first year that the Spec case is not going to be in my rotation for my S24 Ultra because of not having MagSafe compatibility, which is a huge bummer because I absolutely love the Spec Presidio Grip 2. So that's going to do it for this video, you guys. Thanks for some of you that stuck with me the entire time, hanging out and watching. I will have an edited version of this video where things are more condensed and hopefully under 20 minutes long, where I focus on these cases, and we'll also have links in the description and all of that stuff. When you click on those links, it helps support the channel here. There are links to Amazon, so you can buy the case there, see the different color options and all that good stuff. I don't have that yet in the description, but I'll add them to this live video at a later date. So if you're looking for case, I hope that maybe one of the cases here that we looked at today is interesting to you. There are lots of cases out there. There's a style that you're going to find that you're going to like. Just make sure it has the features and the protection that protect your phone and give you added value. Things like MagSafe. Things like making sure there's a little bit of screen down protection, or the case coming with a screen protector to compensate for the fact that it doesn't have a lot of screen down protection. Stuff like that, interesting things to look for in a case when you are making your decisions. So thanks again for being here. Appreciate all of you for watching all the way through. And if you enjoyed this live stream, want to see more live streams, or perhaps you're watching this later, leave me a comment, let me know, because I would love to do more live streams around different topics other than just opening up a lot of cases. We'll see you next time.